Good morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching Janata Television and this is English Bulletin with me, Utsa Bhattrai. The top stories first. Prime Minister Oli sends clear message to his Indian counterpart, conveys message of crisis resolution by dialogue. Daily infection of coronavirus increases to 1,703, active cases in the country up again. Tourism Minister Bhattrai reiterates EU's ban on Nepalese airlines unjustifiable. Cannes report reveals reduced accident in the past years. Top Iranian nuclear scientist assassinated near Tehran. Iranian foreign minister condemns the murder as act of terror. And Indian cricket team falls short by 67 runs in the first ODI in Australia, trail by 1-0 in the three-match series. And now, the news in detail. The government of Nepal has sent a message to the government of India that issues including border disputes should be resolved through dialogue. The message was sent by Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli to Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi through visiting Indian Foreign Secretary Harshavardhan Shringala. During the meeting in Balwatar, Prime Minister Oli sent a message that the border dispute and other issues between Nepal and India should be resolved through dialogue. Rajan Bhattrai, press advisor to the Prime Minister, informed during the meeting Foreign Secretary Shringala conveyed Modi's message to Prime Minister Oli that India was positive to move Nepal-India relations forward and wanted to address the issues through dialogue. In response, Prime Minister Oli said they also wanted to solve the problems through talks, Bhattrai said. Bhattrai said that the meeting would be held in a courtesy call between Prime Minister and the Foreign Secretary. He also said that the meeting will be held after the date of a foreign ministerial meeting. Former Foreign Secretary Pradyumna Vikram Shah has said that the visit of Indian Foreign Secretary Harshavardhan Shringala to Nepal has broken the deadlock between the two countries. He said that the visit of Shringala, who returned home today after a two-day visit, broke the deadlock between Nepal and India, which stood for the past 1 year. He said that India, which is emerging as a superpower in South Asia, would not benefit from the strained relations with Nepal and its neighbours. Shah said that Nepal should make the issue of a border dispute in 71 places, including Kalapani, Limpiadhura and Lipulekh, the main issue during the talks to be held at the foreign ministerial level. He also said that agendas including Raxaul-Kathmandu and East-West Railway and Postal Highway should also be on the agenda. Indian Foreign Secretary Shringala, who arrived in Nepal on Thursday, returned home yesterday. During his visit to Nepal, he had courtesy meetings with President Vidya Devi Bhandari, Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli and Foreign Minister Pradeep Kumar Gyawali. In other news, the government yesterday confirmed 1,703 new cases of coronavirus across the country. Following the latest round of tests, the total cases of coronavirus in the country has climbed to 229,343, while the number of active cases has slightly increased to 17,237 from the overnight tally of 16,793. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, altogether 209,435 infected persons have recovered from the disease in the country so far. The death toll from coronavirus has climbed to 1,435 across the country, with the confirmation of 23 new casualties yesterday. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, 1,703 new cases were detected through 104,060 PCR tests conducted at various laboratories across the country. Nepal is currently among the top 37 countries that have been most affected by the pandemic. Minister for Culture, Tourism and Civil Aviation Yogesh Bhattrai affirmed it is not upright to ban Nepalese airliners anywhere in the global sky. Addressing a program organized by Civil Aviation Authority to reveal a security report of Nepalese aviation, Minister Bhattarai claimed there is no legitimacy in banning Nepalese airlines from flying into 28-nation bloc of European Union. Earlier this year, the European Commission had decided to continue its ban on Nepalese airlines from flying into EU, citing European Aviation Agency's report that confirmed there had been little to no change in Nepal's air safety status in the last 7 years. According to Minister Bhattarai, however, government has been working on some legal procedures crucial to appeal against the unjustifiable ban on national flag carrier. For the same purpose, preparations have already been made to divide the Civil Aviation Authority into 2 units and plan ahead, Minister Bhattarai informed. Based on the latest security report and the legal decision to revise CAN's institutional structure, Nepalese aviation sector will be safe to fly anywhere across the globe, Minister Bhattarai opined.
अब संसारको कुनै पनि आकाशमा नेपाललाई प्रतिबन्ध लगाउनु पर्ने औचित्य छैन, यो हाम्रो दाबी हो र जुनसुकै अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय फोरममा पनि हामी यो बडा स्पष्टका साथ भन्छौं र यसमा हामीलाई कुनै हिंताबोध हेजिटेसन छैन, किनकि हाम्रो त्यति ठूलो गल्ती छैन भन्ने कुरा यो डेटाबाट देखिन्छ। यो डेटा कुनै बनाउ टेबलमा बसेर बनाएको डेटा पनि हैन, यो फ्याक्टमा तथ्यमा आधारित डेटा हो। त्यसैले हामी यसमा दावा नै गर्छौं, तर पनि हामीमाथिको प्रतिबन्ध छ।
Nepal's international airport remained operational throughout the pandemic when the infection was on its peak, Tourism Minister said. This should suffice as an evidence of Nepalese aviation's capability, Minister Bhattarai added. According to CAN's security report, aviation accidents has significantly reduced in Nepal over the past few years. A meeting of the Secretariat is scheduled to be held today to resolve the ongoing dispute in the ruling Nepal Communist Party. Chairman KP Sharma Oli, who is also the Prime Minister, is scheduled to present a report at the Secretariat meeting later today. The dispute between the two presidents, Oli and Pushpa Kamal Dahal, has created a crisis within the party. Second-in-line leaders are actively working to resolve the dispute between the two chairpersons, while the party cadres are worried about the eventual outcome. Even Nepalese living abroad for employment and various other reasons are taking interest in the current NCP deadlock. Immigrant Nepalese suggest that unity should be maintained by ending the relationship dispute. Rajendra Pudasaini, president of non-residential Nepali Unified Front UK, has issued a statement stating that the NCP has been weakened due to lack of rules, procedures and culture. At such a time, Chairman Pudasaini suggests that the cadres should not resort to factionalism and abuse of leaders. And now, the news from Economic Front. A total of 207 banks and financial institutions are involved in merger of acquisition process until September-October of the current fiscal year. Out of this, license of 157 organizations have been revoked and registered into 50 new merged organizations. The merger process was started after the Nepal Rashtra Bank (NRB) started the process of merging and acquiring banks and financial institutions with the objective of strengthening the country's financial stability. Now, the number of licensed banks and financial institutions has reached 146 by mid-October, according to NRB. There are 27 commercial banks, 19 development banks, 21 finance companies, 78 microfinance financial institutions and 1 infrastructure development bank in operation at present. The number of branches of banks and financial institutions has increased from 9,765 in mid-July to 9,903 in mid-October. According to NRB, according to the central bank, 4,514 branches of commercial banks, 1,023 branches of development bank, 249 branches of finance companies and 4,117 branches of microfinance financial institutions have been expanded. Welcome back, and now the international news. A top Iranian scientist has been assassinated near the country's capital, Tehran, BBC reported. Mohsen Fakhrizadeh, a high-ranking Iranian nuclear physical scientist, was shot by terrorists in the vehicle in Absard, a suburb in eastern Tehran, BBC has cited Iranian Defense Ministry as saying. Iran's Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif has condemned the killing as an act of state terror. The scientist was also recognized by the West as a leader to the Islamic Republic's military nuclear program before its termination in the early 2000s. BBC has cited Iran's foreign ministry's statement released yesterday that confirmed the assassination. Fakhrizadeh was shot by terrorists in his vehicle in Absard and he later succumbed to his injuries in what amounted to a martyr's death, the ministry said. Iran's foreign minister alleged the killing of Mohsen Fakhrizadeh bore serious indications of an Israeli role but did not elaborate. Russia yesterday announced that Sputnik vaccine will also be produced in India and other states including Brazil, China and South Korea. One of the developers of Russia's Sputnik 5 coronavirus vaccine confirmed India-based drug maker Hetero's involvement in producing 100 million doses of the jab. Al Jazeera has cited the statement from the Russian Direct Investment Fund that read, Hetero, one of India's leading generic pharmaceutical companies, have agreed to produce in India over 100 million doses per year of the world's first registered vaccine against the novel coronavirus infection Sputnik 5. The production is expected to begin in early next year. Russia also declared a Sputnik 5 vaccine will cost $10 per dose on international markets, costing less than some other registered COVID-19 vaccines. The race to developing the COVID-19 vaccine among Russia, the US and UK has been compared to the space race back in Cold War times by some international experts. Russia announced the registration of a coronavirus vaccine in August. The vaccine is dubbed Sputnik 5 after Soviet-era satellite, but did so ahead of large-scale clinical trials. You are watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Australia defeated India by 66 runs in the first of the three-match ODI between the old rivals. Australia had won the toss and decided to bat first, the SCG, a decision backed well by their batsmen. The first wicket partnership between David Warner, 69, and Aaron Finch, 114, gave a strong start to the Australians. Steve Smith also scored 105 in just 66 deliveries. A 19-ball 45-run cameo by Glenn Maxwell helped Australia reach a mammoth total of 374 in their allotted 50 overs. In reply, the Indian team lost wickets in regular intervals, with only Shikhar Dhawan scoring 74 in the top order. He was supported by Hardik Pandya, who scored 90 from 76 balls, but his effort fell short of the final total. India eventually managed to score 308 in their allotted 50 overs, losing the match by 66 runs. The Indian team took to reprieve themselves as they face the Australians in the second match of the three-match series tomorrow. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin, and the headlines once again. Prime Minister Oli sends a clear message to his Indian counterpart, conveys the message of crisis resolution by dialogue. Daily infection of coronavirus increased to 1,703. Active cases in the country up again. Tourism Minister Bhattarai reiterates EU's ban on Nepalese airlines unjustifiable. Can report reveals reduced accidents in the past few years. Top Iranian nuclear scientist assassinated near Tehran. Iranian foreign minister condemns the murder as act of terror. And Indian cricket team falls short by 67 runs in the first ODI in Australia, trail by 1-0 in the 3-match series. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website at janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.